today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Naranam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Sarasvaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Naranam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudriyat Nasta Prayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki. Sorry, dear devotees, I just have a sore throat and I think I'm coming down with flu. We'll try our best today. I'll read. Can everyone hear me? I got a message that it's not clear.
Yes, Prabhu, we can hear you. All good.
Bhavamai Mataji, can you hear me? Really?
Maybe some problem with my end, Prabhuji. So sorry.
Oh, okay, that's good. So Srīmad Bhāgavatam 1:1836. Iti yuktva rosa tambraksho vyasyan rishi balakaha kaushikya upasprishya bhagavajam visasarjaha. I'll need help today. If somebody can read the Sinrin's translation and purport, please. It's just my throat is not very good.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I can do that.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Synonyms. Iti, thus, uktva, saying, rosa tamra akshaha, with red hot eyes due to being angry. Vayasyan, unto the playmates. Rishi balakaha, the son of a rishi. Kaushikihi, the river Kaushika. Apaha, water. Upasya, by touching. Walk, words. Vajram, thunderbolt. Vishasarja, through. Ha, in the past. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Yeah.
Translation. The reason of the Rishi, his eyes red hot with anger, touched the water of the river Kaushika while speaking to his playmates and discharged the following thunderbolt of words. Purport. The circumstances under which Mahārāja Parīkṣit was cursed simply childish, as it appears from this verse. Shringi was showing his impudency amongst his playmates who were innocent. Any sane man would have prevented him from doing such great harm to all human society. By killing a king like Mahārāja Parīkṣit, just to make a show of acquired Brahmanical power, the inexperienced son of a Brāhmaṇa committed a great mistake. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Can you go to the next text as well? We'll cover two today, please, because they're related. Thank you, Prabhu. Text number 37. Iti langita maryadam takshakaha saptame hani dangshati sama kulangaram chodito me tata druham. Can you continue, please?
Yeah. Synonyms. Iti, thus, langita, surpassing, maryadam, etiquity, takshasa, takshakaha, snake bird, saptame, on the 7th, ahani, day, dangshyati, will bite, certainly, kula angaram, the rest of the dynasty, koditaha, having done, me, mine, tata druhyam, enmity towards the father. Translation. The Brahmana's son cursed the king thus, On the seventh day from today, a snake bird will bite the most rich one of that dynasty, Parīkṣit Mahārāja, because of his having broken the laws of etiquette by insulting my father. Purport. Thus, the beginning of the misuse of Brahmanical power began, and gradually Brahmanas in the age of Kali became devoid of both Brahmanical powers and culture. The Brahmana boy considered Maharaj Parīkṣit to be Kulangara, or rich of the dynasty. But factually, the Brahmana boy himself was so because only from him did the Brahmana caste become powerless. Like the snake whose poison teeth are broken. The snake is otherwise fearful only to children. The personality of Kali conquered the Brahmana boy first and gradually the other castes. Thus, the whole scientific system of the orders of society in this age has assumed the form of a vitiated caste system, which is now being uprooted by another class of men, similarly influenced by the age of Kali. One should see to the root cause of vitiation and not try to condemn the system as it is without knowledge of its scientific value. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunamritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Namo Krishna Goswami Niti Namane Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shanyadi Paschatya Deshatavine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram. So today we are discussing Srīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 18, text number 36 and 37. This chapter is entitled Parīkṣit Cast by a Brahmana Boy. I'll just read the translation quickly. The son of the Rishi, his eyes red hot with anger, touched the water of the river Kaushika while speaking to his playmates and discharged the following thunderbolt of words. The Brahmana's son cast the king thus. On the seventh day from today, a snake bird will bite the most rest one of the dynasty, Mahārāja Parīkṣit, because of his having broken the laws of etiquette by insulting my father. As you might be aware, today is also the disappearance day of Gadadhar Pandit and Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So you're welcome to do a half-day fast if you can. If time permits, maybe we'll just touch base a little bit towards the end on these two great personalities. So these two verses are interrelated, and we can see how Shringi cases Parīkṣit Maharaj. So we know the background story that Parīkṣit Maharaj, while hunting, he became thirsty. He entered the hermitage of sage Samika, who was in deep meditation. The sage did not respond to Parīkṣit's request for water, and in a fit of anger, the king placed a dead snake around the sage's neck. So we have to understand that all this is also by the will of the Lord, because of the activities which will unfold in due course of time, hence the narration of Srīmad Bhāgavatam. So Shringi's case, though dramatic, is portrayed as impulsive and immature. So this commentary emphasizes that such a grave curse, especially one directed at a righteous king like Parīkṣit, it was a serious mishap. It highlights the dangers of misuse spiritual power, especially when wielded without wisdom and guidance. So here it also says that Shringi took some water from river Kaushika. So I was looking up, and the river Kaushika is in Tamil Nadu. Somewhere it said it dried up. I'm not too sure. Somebody knows, you can highlight. Not sure whether because of it was used in the case of Parīkṣit Mahārāja. It dried up now. Anyway, let's move on. So Srīmad is actually a fascinating and complex character in Srimad Bhagavatam because of his pivotal role in the story of King Parīkṣit's case. So he was a young son of Sage Samika, as we know. And although he was Brahmanical by birth and training, his actions reveal the volatility of youthful pride and unchecked spiritual power. So even though he was raised in a ascetic environment, he acquired significant spiritual potency at a young age. But with that power came a certain immaturity as well, because he was very young. So when he learned that King Parīkṣit had garlanded his meditating father with a dead snake, he became very angry, furious. So it's like born of frustration rather than malice. So Srīmad reacted with intense anger and without even consulting his father or his friends or anyone. He caused Mahārāja Parīkṣit to die within 7 days from a snake bite named Takshaka. So this moment is often interpreted as a cautionary tale. So on one hand, we have spiritual power without wisdom can be dangerous, right? So spiritual power without wisdom can be dangerous. So Srīmad's curse sets off a chain of events that leads to Parīkṣit's death and ultimately the narration of the entire Bhagavatam by Sukadeva Goswami to the dying king. So Srīmad's character in these 2 verses invites a reflection on the responsibilities that come with power, the importance of emotional maturity, and the value of humility, even for those steeped in spiritual knowledge. So even though we might be highly advanced in spiritual knowledge, but if we don't have these values integrated within us, especially humility, then there's always a risk of downfall. Chaitanya Charan Prabhu says humility is false ego rejected, and pride is false ego frustrated. When our false ego gets frustrated, we become proud. But when our false ego gets rejected, then we become humble. So Srīmad embodies several profound themes in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and we can unpack some of these themes from Srimad Bhagavatam based on just these 2 verses, which highlight Srīmad's character. So the first one is power without maturity. So Srīmad's ability to curse a king shows that spiritual power can be attained even by the young, but it can be misused as well. His impulsive reaction to a perceived insult reveals the dangers of wielding power without wisdom. So this incident, as Srila Prabhupada also mentions in the purport, is often cited as the beginning of decline of true Brahmanical culture in Kali Yuga. So this is where it all started with Srīmad. Second, the consequences of anger. His anger, though rooted in devotion to his father, leads to a chain of events culminating in King Parīkṣit's death. This highlights how unchecked anger, even when seemingly justified, can have far-reaching consequences. So in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 62 and 63 addresses the chain of events. I'm just going to recite 62 quickly. Krodad bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti brahmasad buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati. Translation: from anger, delusion arises. We become clouded. And from delusion, bewilderment of memory. So we're not able to think straight. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool. So this is kind of what was happening to Srīmad as well. He got angry, he got clouded, couldn't think clearly. His memory was bewildered, and then his intelligence was lost. and he cursed Mahārāja Parīkṣit. So Acharyas explained that anger is actually a sign of weakness. How? Because the external forces are controlling our actions. We are not controlling the external forces, but the external forces are controlling our actions, indicating a lack of self-control and inner strength. I'm sure we all have done it at some point in our life. In anger, we do things or say things that we later regret, right? So, oh, I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have sent this email out, or whatever it might be. Now, we always regret. But if you pause for a little while, think over the situation, and we might be able to make the right decisions. Imagine if Shringi Rishi, this boy, if he had paused for a moment, thought he might not even cursed Parīkṣit Maharaj. But because of the will of the Lord, we all had to hear the Srīmad Bhāgavatam. So that's why the chain of events happened. But in our own situations, if we pause, think, then we might be able to make the right decisions in life as well. So instead of reacting impulsively, we should strive to be assertive, like honest in our reactions, and judicious, meaning that we should make good decisions in any response we have to give. Focus on positive thoughts and emotions rather than dwelling on negative ones. Have you ever met people who are always negative in life and then they kind of drag you down? So we should strive to associate with people who are positive in life, associate with devotees who are advanced, so our spiritual life can be uplifted as well. And we should also be able to practice forgiveness towards ourselves and towards others as well. And we connect with spiritual practices like chanting, for example, to keep our mind at peace. The role of forgiveness. Shringi's father, Samik Rishi, disapproves of the case and emphasizes Shama, or forgiveness, as the true ornament of a Brāhmaṇa. This contrast between father and son underscores the importance of restraint and compassion in spiritual life. I think Sakira Prabhu, a few days ago, he mentioned nicely the qualities of Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas. So in Bhagavad Gita 1842, it says, I'm just going to reiterate, Samodamastapa Shausham Shantir Arjavam Evam Cha Yanam Vigyanam Astikam Brahma Karma Svabhavajam. In the translation, it says peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas were. The key word in the translation is natural qualities. So if, say, for example, if you're second initiated, if you call yourself a Brahmana, these are the natural qualities we must have. It should be within us all the time. Right? Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity. Prabhupada says purity is the force. Tolerant, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, religiousness. Okay, next, the fallibility of the land. So despite his lineage and training, Shringi's actions show that even those born into wisdom can falter. So even though we might be even born in a high-class Brahmana family, there's always a chance of faltering. And the Bhagavatam doesn't shy away from portraying flaws in its characters. It uses these characters to teach us how we should be behaving in life as well. So, ironically, Shringi's case sets the stage for the Bhagavatam itself. So we see the arrival of our hero, Shukadeva Goswami, and he narrated the whole Srimad Bhagavatam in 7 days to Parīkṣit Mahārāja, and the medium through which we all have access to the Srimad Bhagavatam as well. So thus, Shringi becomes an unwitting instrument of the divine will, in other words. So Shringi's case was like a spark that ignited a spiritual revolution, one that transformed a moment of anger into a legacy of wisdom. Interestingly, Samik, Shringi's father, disapproved of his son's rashness. And as we discussed, that forgiveness is a better quality to have. So Shringi here represents, what does Shringi represent? He represents the tension between spiritual potential and human imperfection. He represents the tension between spiritual potential and human imperfection. His story invites readers to reflect on how knowledge, emotion, and dharma must be harmonized. So some of the other reflections on the broader society or the impact Shringi's case had on the society. One, erosion of the Brahman class, so as Prabhupada says, that Shringi's impulsive spiritual power without discernment marked a turning point. So Brahmanas who were once revered, wise and restrained were questioned. This incident exposed how a birthright alone doesn't guarantee virtue, and it foreshadowed the decline of genuine spiritual leadership in Kali Yuga. So if we have a doctor, his son doesn't automatically becomes a doctor. He has to study, right? Put in the effort. So if we are born in a Brahmana family, and if our actions are not like Brahmanas, then we cannot be recognized as Brahmanas. As in Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna says, that our actions determine our varnas. Okay, shift in dharma and governance. So Parīkṣit was a just and dharmic ruler who protected his subjects and upheld Vedic principles. So his untimely death created kind of like a vacuum in righteous leadership, which accelerated the influence of Kali. This is very important as well. When we have vacuum in righteous leadership, even in our communities, then the influence of Kali can be felt more and more. Quarrel, hypocrisy, all these things will just creep in. So with dharma weakened at the top, societal values began to erode more rapidly. Next, rise of sectarian and ritualism. As the Brahmana class lost its moral compass, society began to drift toward external ritualistic rather than inner transformation. The case became symbolic of how spiritual traditions can be misused when disconnected from compassion and wisdom. Cultural memory and moral reflection. The story of Shringi's case became a tale passed down through generations. It served as a reminder that true spiritual power lies in humility, not in domination. So if we are humble in our actions, you are actually more powerful than if you're trying to dominate. So because of this case, the narration of Srīmad Bhāgavatam by Sukadeva Goswami to Parīkṣit became a beacon of light in the darkening age of Kali. It offers us new path rooted in devotion, introspection, and transcendence. So in a way, Shringi's case was like a thunderclap that woke society from complacency. It revealed the cracks in the old order and opened the door for deeper, more heartfelt spirituality to emerge. So I've got 5 minutes. I'm just going to very quickly read. Before that, does anyone have any comments on the 2 verses? No? Okay, thank you. So I'll quickly read about Sri Gadadhar Pandit disappearance and let's see how we go for time. So please bear with me. I might go a bit fast. So today is the disappearance day of Sri Gadadhar Pandit and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So devotees around the world, we remember disappearance of Sri Gadadhar Pandit, who was a beloved companion of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the embodiment of Srimati Radharani's mood and mercy in Gaura Lila. So Gadadhar Pandit, as we know, is one of the Panchtattvas, and it represents Bhakti Shakti, the Lord's internal potency. His life reflects gentle surrender, loyal companionship, and deep scholarship in love for Krishna. So Gadadhar Pandit is none other than Srimati Radharani herself, appearing in male form to accompany Krishna, who had taken on her mood and complexion as Lord Gauranga. So in Gaura Lila, Gauranga is Krishna in Radha Bhav, and Gadadhar is Radha saving Krishna from outside herself. This divine reversal embodies the deepest feelings of love and separation at the heart of Gaudiya Bhakti. So Gadadhar Pandit was born in Navadip, actually Belet Tota, near Navadip. And from very age, he was very young age, he was very scholarly. And he was deeply attached to the Lord, Nimai Pandit. So Gadadhar Pandit remained at the side of Mahaprabhu in every mood, joy, separation, and surrender. And he accepted Kshetra Sannyas and lived in Jagannath Puri, serving the deity of Tota Gopinath. He continued to dress and worship the Tota Gopinath deity until he was very old and he couldn't reach to garland Tota Gopinath. So he requested the deity to please sit so he can continue his seva. So upon his request, Tota Gopinath temple, if you go to Jagannath Puri, please visit this temple, Tota Gopinath. It's a very, very special deity. You'll see Krishna sitting. And then Gadadhar Pandit could continue his worship. And also on the right knee of Tota Gopinath temple, if you bribe the pujaris sometimes, you can see a crack. That's the crack where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered into the deity of Tota Gopinath as well. So you can get darshan of that as well. So after the Lord's disappearance, Gadadhar Pandit lost the very life of his heart. He quietly continued his service with great longing until he also departed this world, returning to serve Shri Radha and Krishna. His samadhi is located at Tota Gopinath temple in Jagannath Puri. So Gadadhar Pandit teaches us the beauty of quiet love, the strength of silent service, and the perfection of staying with the Lord, even in separation. So what does he teach? Beauty of quiet love, the strength of silent service, and the perfection of staying with the Lord, even in separation. His mood is not dramatic or outspoken. It is the hidden treasure of selfless bhakti. So on this auspicious day, let us pray to Gadadhar Pandit. O Gadadhar Pandit, gentle heart of Gauranga, please bless us with the humility to serve silently, the longing to remain near the Lord, and the strength to love without expectation. Shri Gadadhar Pandit ki jai. Few minutes, we'll quickly cover Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur disappearance. Make a few minutes over time, please forgive me. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is one of the pioneers of the modern Krishna consciousness movement. So he was kind of the bridge between the six Goswamis and the worldwide movement that would later blossom through the empowered son, Srila Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur, and later Srila Prabhupada as well. So he was born in 1938 in Birnagar, West Bengal, and he was originally named Kedarnath Datta. He displayed exceptional intelligence and he wrote so many books. He also served as a magistrate under the British government, and simultaneously he led a deep spiritual life of bhajan, study, and preaching. He wrote over more than 100 books actually, and to spread the pure teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and correcting many misconceptions introduced by other groups. One of his greatest contributions was the rediscovery of the original birthplace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Yogapith in Mayapur. Through careful research and divine insight, he confirmed the holy site and envisioned that people from all nations would one day gather there to chant the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. His actual words were, a day will come when people from America, England, France, Germany, and Russia will come to Mayapur and chant, Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana. So he established the Nam Hatha movement, engaged engaging householders in village preaching. He refuted Christian and impersonalist criticisms with sound philosophy, restored dignity to the image of Vaishnava Dharma. He wrote essential books like Harinam Chintamani, Jaiva Dharma, Sharanagati, etc., presented Lord Chaitanya as non-different from Krishna, the Yuga avatar for Kali Yuga. And he also wrote so many bhajans as we can sing from the songbook. He was a harmonizer of deep spiritual philosophy with practical devotion accessible to all classes of people. So he departed from this world in 1914, fully immersed in devotion. He left gracefully, like a swan returning to the spiritual realm, chanting the holy name. His samadhi is located in Godruma Deep, Navadip, and another samadhi is maintained in Vrindavan near the Radha Damodar temple. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur proved that one can live responsibly in this world while remaining completely surrendered to the spiritual mission. He embodied sadhana, sastra, and siksha in perfect balance. So we can learn from the life of Bhaktivinoda Thakur how he kind of packed so many things in his 24 hours and continued his writing. So his sadhana was great, sastra study, and he was writing sastra, and then siksha. He was in perfect balance. Through his vision and compassion, the holy name of Krishna now echoes across the globe. So on this disappearance day, Srila Prabhupada said once that on the appearance and disappearance days, we can pray to the acharyas directly as well. So especially on the disappearance day, they're very merciful. So we can pray that, O Bhaktivinoda Thakur, torchbearer of the disciplic succession, please ignite in our hearts the flame of dedication so that we too might carry forward the mission of Mahaprabhu with humility, conviction, and love. So thank you very much, everyone. Apologies, we went 3 minutes over time. Does anyone have any comments? You can unmute and speak, please.
Prabhu Hare Krishna, thank you for your nice class. Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually is also called as the seventh Goswami.
Yes.
Amrit Bajar Patrika's editor Shishir Kumar Ghosh, he mentions him as the seventh Goswami, and he himself was a very learned scholarly devotee,
Yes.
Shishir Kumar Ghosh. And Rupa Vilas Prabhu, Prabhupada disciple, he has written a very nice book on Bhaktivinoda Thakur entitled The Seventh Goswami. So if anyone is interested, it's a very, very wonderful book. I read it many years ago. So I would recommend that if anyone wants to know more about Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they should get this book, The Seventh Goswami by Rupa Vilas Prabhu. And also about Gadadhar Pandit, he also wanted to travel with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but because of his Kshetra Sannyasa Sankalpa, Mahaprabhu requested him to, ordered him also to stay in Jagannath Puri area. And so that's why he embodies the highest Vipralamba Bhava, mode of separation, because he was separated from Mahaprabhu, and yet he served very nicely. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu, for your nice reflection. Those who might be new, so Bhaktivinoda Thakur, as we know that he is the disciple of Jagannath Das Babaji, and he's a guru for Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, and he's also the father of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada. So we can read about these great Vaishnava Acharyas, as Prabhupada said, Seven Goswami. It's a nice book to read as well. Thank you, everyone. So please create a nice Krishna conscious day, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Sam Prabhu, thank you.
All
Thank you,
glories to
Prabhu.
Srila
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.